Hey everyone, this is Chad. This is my video response to the Why Do You Do What You Do forum. Uh, to be honest, I do what I do because I am extremely passionate about sports. I come from a sports family, and competition and really all types of sports have really been a big part of my life. And it wasn't until I guess I graduated from college and actually turned, my helmet and shoulder pads in, and almost had sports taken away from me for 4 or 5 years as I kind of got into the working world and a different job that I realized how much sports truly meant to me and how important it was to my life. And for the first time in a long time, being on the sidelines of a football game really kind of made me feel alive again. And I was given that opportunity by uh, my defensive coordinator while I was a player at Moore Park College. He was coaching at St. Bonaventure High School at the time. Um, Invited me out to a game, got me on the sideline, threw me some gear, and it was almost like it was over after that. I was instantly kind of, I guess, attached, reattached, or I'd almost refallen in love with the sport all over again. And it's crazy to think that that's the way it can happen, but it did. From there, I spent a year at St. Bonaventure, and a coach who I had a ton of respect for and really admired as a player at Camarillo High School, had just gotten the head coaching job at Camarillo, and he had called me a few weeks after and asked me if I'd want to be a part of his staff, and from there I've just kind of continued to run with it. Um, it's been probably the greatest last 5 years of my life being at Camarillo as a coach over there. I mean, I've done so many different or had the opportunity to be a part of so many different really great opportunities. I feel like I've grown in so many different ways. I started as kind of just a secondary coach, and have kind of evolved into really taking on a number of different roles for our program. And you know, I I do it because I'm extremely passionate about the game. Um, I really feel like some of the lessons that you learn in football can certainly help prepare you for different adversity that you face in life. I feel like it helps you. It really teaches you how to compete. If you quit on the field, I think you're going to quit. When it gets tough, when times get tough in your life, and I just think there's so much of the process that you can apply to things later on down the line that are invaluable. From that standpoint. So, really fortunate to do what I do, and you know, I love it. Last year we were really successful. Finished, we were 15-0 at one point. Ended up losing the state title game. So I've experienced the highs of extreme success from a program standpoint, and we just came off a 2-8 season this year, to where we didn't make the playoffs. I think for the first time since '96. So we've kind of been through it all over the last year, and it's almost kind of just fires you up a little bit more to get back at it. I guess the second part of this question I'll try and answer quickly because I always seem to talk too much on these videos. I guess the distractions to me, I feel like at times are I guess the players who maybe don't take it as seriously as you wish they would, or don't see the value or silver lining in some of the concepts or lessons that you're trying to teach them, because either they haven't experienced it yet, they've been enabled their whole lives, or they're just not quite ready to accept some of the realities that they face. Um, but those have to be some of some of what I would call the biggest distractions for me. I mean, when you coming off a team, like I said, that was 15-0 at one point, in a really good league, beat a lot of really good teams, won a CIF champ. We just did so many great things as a group, and you were able to see what those guys were able to accomplish together. And then you take that and you compare that with some of the things that our team was lacking this year. Not that, I think any team is comparable to another, although I do feel like there are some traits that are, that may cross over. Um, some of those things, levels of intensity, willingness to prepare, um, uh, accountability, compete level, physicality, all of those little areas where, you would like your players to. I don't expect, players to put in the same amount that I put in, but I do expect their effort to be at their very best at all times, because that is the one thing that they can control. And I feel like at times, those selfish acts really had become distractions for us. So I hope I answered that question all right, and I hope I didn't talk too long. So I hope you all are having a good night, and can't wait to watch your responses as well. Take care.